This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
What? Mary, the mother of Joseph? Who's Joseph? Is that a misprint? Isn't that supposed to say Jesus? No, Joseph was Jesus' brother. And he was alive. So they would refer to a brother that was alive. There's another place where it's referred to as Mary, the mother of James and Joseph. And so they were there. They saw what happened when Jesus was placed in the tomb, when he was wrapped up. They knew what happened. They were at the tomb. It took a period of time to do it. It wasn't just like they walked by and said, oh, there he is. And they were there for a period of time and knew what had happened. Now, if the women went to the wrong tomb, then look at this. The disciples who went to check up on what the women said must have gone to the wrong tomb also. But look what happened. So she came running to Simon Peter, the other disciple, the one that Jesus loved, that was John, and said, they've taken the Lord out of the tomb. We don't know where they put him. So Peter and the other disciple, that's John, started for the tomb. Both were running, but the other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. So they ran on ahead of the women. Now, that meant that if they got to the tomb, and if it was the wrong tomb, then they went to the wrong tomb also. Why did they know? How did they get to the right tomb? Because they knew where it was. They knew where the tomb was. One ran on ahead. He gets to it. He outruns Peter. Peter goes on. He ends up at the same tomb. The women eventually show up. They're at the same tomb. They all knew which tomb it was. By the way, I love something incidental and parenthetical about this passage. This writing about, so Peter and the other disciple started for the tomb. Both were running. The other disciple outran Peter and reached the tomb first. That was John. Look who wrote that gospel. John. Don't you know that John and Peter have been arguing about this ever since? You did not outrun me. Oh, yes, I did. No, you didn't. I let you get ahead. No, you didn't. Yeah, I did. They've been arguing about this for centuries, I'll guarantee you. Peter, by the way, never alludes to this. He never says, no, you outran me. He never says that. But John seems to really rub it in. Just decide, men will be men, boys will be boys. That's what happened. Listen, Peter and John knew where the tomb was, and they ran on ahead of the women to check it out for themselves. They knew. And the Jewish authorities, who were fearful that Jesus' body would be stolen and asked the Roman government to place Roman guards at the tomb, they knew where the tomb was, as did the Roman guards themselves. They knew where the tomb was. If the women and disciples had gone to the wrong tomb, those Jewish authorities, those Roman authorities, would have made a mockery of that mistake. It wasn't the wrong tomb. And speaking of guarding the tomb, as the Romans did, how about this theory? The body was stolen. Really? Let me ask you this. Could the body have been stolen while the guards slept? Could that have happened? Well, apparently Mary Magdalene wondered the same thing, because she said in John chapter 20, verses 1 and 2, she says, early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb, saw that the stone had been removed from the entrance, so she came running to Simon Peter and the other disciple, then the one Jesus loved, that's John, and said, they've taken the Lord out of the tomb and we don't know where they put it. She presumed that the body had been stolen. She wasn't thinking resurrection. She was thinking stolen body. And I want you to see where this theory started about the stolen body. In Matthew chapter 28, look at verses 11 through 15. Matthew 28, verses 11 through 15. While the women were on their way, some of the guards went into the city and reported to the chief priests everything that had happened. These were guards that had been around the tomb, that had been guarding the tomb. They go to the Jewish authorities. They don't go to their authorities. They go to the Jewish authorities and say, guys, you're not going to believe what happened. And they went and they told them what had happened. When the chief priests had met with the elders and devised a plan, I keep on that word, devised a plan, they gave the soldiers a large sum of money, telling them, you're to say, his disciples came during the night and stole him away while we were asleep. Now stop right there. You're a Roman soldier that's been told if you ever fall asleep while you're on duty, you're going to die. You will die. We'll either set you on fire, we'll stab you, or we'll decapitate you. And so, but guys, we want you to go tell them that they came and stole the body while you fell asleep. Yeah, right. If this report gets to the governor, don't worry about it. The report gets to the governor, we will satisfy him and keep you out of trouble. Now these Roman soldiers are not dumb. These Roman soldiers are not going, okay, that sounds good. These Roman soldiers know they're in trouble. That's why they went to the Jewish authorities. That's why they didn't go to their authorities, they went to the Jewish authorities, because they knew they were in trouble. So verse 15 explains a lot. So the soldiers took the money and did as they were instructed. Oh yeah, we fell asleep. And they came to think about it. They mumbled. And this story has been widely circulated among the Jews to this very day. That's what the word says. Now, as I said, the Roman soldiers would have been severely disciplined, most likely killed, for failure to guard the tomb and allow the Roman seal to be broken. Resurrection or not, in spite of what the Jewish authorities would have bargained for, they most likely were going to be killed. It would not have been out of line, it would not be out of line to take this passage and read something into it. When it says, because remember, they're Roman soldiers committed to the Roman authority. And what did they do? They took a large sum of money. Now, not only now have they fallen asleep, you say they've fallen asleep, and they've let the Roman seal be broken. And there's a number of these soldiers, by the way. It's not just 2 or 3 of them. There's a whole contingent of them. And not only that, but now they've taken a bride. And what you can assume at this is you can assume that these Roman soldiers said, okay, that's it. We're out of here. We'll take the money. And they resigned their commissions. They left. They resigned their commissions. They would not have stayed around. They would not have stayed around. There would have been a trial, or at least a killing of all of these Roman soldiers, and that would have been recorded in history also.
Looking for a Bible study that's focused on the practical application of the Bible? Check out our website at theopenclass.com.